Welcome to the Bold Like Esther Challenge, week 4 with me, your girl Tammy Capri, the Mompreneur Mentor. And we are at week 4. We are at week 4. This has been a phenomenal month and it went by very quickly, might I add. It went by very quickly. It feels like just yesterday we were starting at week 1. But this has been just an amazing transformation and eye-opening of learning about the book of Esther and us taking on her boldness and stepping into boldness and learning how we can apply these things to our life in real time. And we're just going to keep it going. This week, same as usual, we have a phenomenal guest joining us in our midweek check-in this week. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you go ahead and like this video, share this video with another mom who needs this, and also subscribe so that way you're notified any challenge that we do in the future or any podcast episode that comes up on this page or just anything Mastery Mompreneurs or the Mompreneur Huddle related, so that way you'll be notified and you're always in the loop. I want to thank everyone for tuning in thus far and participating, but let's get down to business. So we left off last week with Haman being sentenced to death. After Esther was bold enough to expose his plot, and King Ahasuerus said, I'm not having that. He said, I am not having that. So he ordered Haman to die. Haman is out the way. Talk about make the bed you lie in. He really created that bed because that also goes to show that evilness will get you nowhere, and karma is absolutely real. And everything happens for a reason. Now, chapter 8 picks up with Esther getting a very gracious gift from the king. He actually gives Esther Haman's estate. He gives Esther Haman's estate to rule over, and she steps in authority as well. She said, well, since I got this, there's something else I need you to do. I need you to reverse this decree on my people. She needed him to stop the law that all Jews had to die under this attack, under the decree that Haman did. Well, she also revealed that Mordecai was her cousin. Now remember, in chapter 7, the king was about to acknowledge Mordecai for saving his life many years ago when his old court was planning to kill him. So he now is connecting all the dots like, oh, this is your cousin. He saved my life. You're the queen. You saved my life. So he's starting to see all of the royal loyals around him. I like that. The royal loyals around him. When we all could use a royal loyal. So Esther was like, listen, we need to get rid of this decree. But unfortunately, like the Persian laws back then are like laws now. Like you can't just reverse a law. Back then you couldn't reverse it at all. Now there's ways to go around laws, getting them changed and so forth. But back then, once a decree was signed and sealed, it was it. That was done. So he was not able to reverse, and there was still going to be an attack on the Jewish people, even though Haman was gone. And I know some of you are probably wondering, well, why would they still attack if Haman is gone and he was exposed? Why would there still be a death threat on Jewish people? Well, because all of those people who aligned themselves with Haman before, all of the evil that's in this world, think of our person that's sitting in the White House now, everybody who knows all the horrific things that this man done did, still ride for him. And then they knew that people were going to still try because it was law. Because it was law that you were able to attack a Jew, kill a Jew, then they were going to still try. So instead of them reversing the law, which they couldn't, Mordecai then wrote a separate decree, and that basically was like a protection order for him and his people, meaning that they can protect themselves against the attack. They can not retaliate, but they can fight back. And if death is handed out to the other side, then so be it. They wouldn't be reprimanded for anything because they were simply protecting themselves. So he was able to write another decree, and the king signed it. So when that attack came, it did come not once but twice. It did come the Jewish people were able to, spare their lives, not spare their lives, but able to protect their lives and their family lives. So ultimately, the fight ended in victory for Mordecai and Esther and all of the Jewish people. And then what ended up happening is Mordecai is now a part of King Ahasuerus' group. My phone is going boom, 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 on and on. Let me put this on mute because I'm hearing this vibrate. Mordecai is he's then promoted within King Ahasuerus' court, right? He's then given a hierarchy in his kingdom, which I feel like is just so dope that it all played out for them, because in the beginning, neither one of them knew the direction it was going to go, but Mordecai knew that Esther had to be there. He didn't even know that Esther was going to be chosen to be queen, but he knew it had to be there. And now look, on hindsight, many, many years later, they're both working on the same team. Now, although Mordecai appeared to be more of an asset in the end, opposed to Queen Esther, which was his cousin, even though, and I believe that is because he was a man. Simply put, he was a man. But I want to say Mordecai became the most liked, the most popular, and the one who took care of his people. He cared about the welfare of his people. So he became well known in Susa. However, if it had not been for Esther and her boldness, he would not have a nation that would love him. So either way, a man is no good without a woman. A man is no good without a woman. And I said it, that's it, and that is all. So yeah, that all took place in chapter 9. And then they also established a Jewish holiday, Purim. They established Purim around that victory. And then it was signed, sealed, delivered, and that's the beginning of that. So, and chapter 10 just basically talks on of how King Ahasuerus continues to rule and how they do good for their people. I absolutely love how the book of Esther went. I absolutely love how it went. I love the ending of it. I love the suspense in it. And I love everything that it showed to really highlight boldness when it comes to a woman. And really highlight boldness of even Mordecai. Back when it was very easy for a man to establish an ego, and for a man to go against a woman, and for a man to just be a man, whatever that means, for him to just be, rebellious or get that big head like Haman did when Haman moved up the rankings. He wanted everyone to bow to him. He forgot the mission. He forgot his assignment, and it became about self, right? I love the fact that Mordecai, his characteristics were shown at the end, and they really got what they deserve. They really got what they deserve, and now they can truly work for their people. So if you have not read the book of Esther, you can go back and watch the replays of these videos, or you can go back and read it for yourself as well, which I highly encourage. Whatever you get from this book, share it with me, because all of our interpretations can be different. But what I got from this is going to live with me from here on beyond. There's no reason why I'm ever going to be stagnant in something or fearful to take a step. Even if I'm not fully aware or comfortable or understanding of the direction that I'm going, you just never know how things are going to unfold if you don't try. At least if you don't try. And there's a progressive order when you're trying it, and it spells out in the book. It spells out in the chapters. So it all starts with exposure, right? Exposing of what the event is, exposing of who you are, exposing of what it is that you don't know, what it is that you're not comfortable with, right? Being exposed to all of these things makes you aware, right? Sort of like how Esther was exposed to the kingdom and the royal life and how things go. And she was exposed to the loyalty that King Ahasuerus had for her, which is why she was so comfortable to do these things. She didn't know everything that was going on each step of the way. She just knew that had she not been exposed, she would have never made the biggest difference. She would have never made a difference in her people's life, and she would have never been able to save all of those people, right? And then what happens also is the transfer of power. The transfer of power, when you're exposed to certain things and when you're deemed loyal and when you start establishing in a certain who you are and what your mission is, there is a bit of transfer of power that happens because had she not been the queen, the little power that she did have after getting the confidence from God to go and try to save her people that night, to go talk to the king, the little bit of power that she did have was useful to her. She was able to fulfill that mission because of the little bit of power that was transferred to her by her being the queen. Feel me? So I just feel like this is such an empowering book. And it really shows the true definition behind walking in authority. Walking in authority. And what does that look like? Walking in authority. So I did write down my 10 lessons on walking in authority and how we can use Esther's story to apply every aspect of this story to our lives in real time. Everything doesn't have to always look exactly like Esther's experiences or anyone else's for that matter. Like, you walk in authority at every level of life, whether you have money, whether you don't have money, whether you have the degrees, whether you don't have the degrees, whether you got it all together or whether you don't, right? You own the space that you're in for right in that moment, right in that season. That is walking in authority. So number one lesson I want to talk to you about walking in authority is you have to accept the responsibility when the power is handed to you. You have to accept it, even when you don't know what that responsibility is. And even after everything starts to unfold of what the responsibility is, you still want to accept it. The moment you start accepting it, the sooner you start accepting it, the sooner you start walking in alignment with what that responsibility is and you start to carry it out, right? And it helps shape your mind around the fact that you didn't get to make this decision. You didn't ask for it, but it's humbling. And it keeps you disciplined to work towards something that you know you did not ask for, did not put in place, because you have accepted it. And it shows a level of, maturity. And it's an honorable thing to accept a responsibility, almost like parenting or bonus parenting. Like if you have a relationship and you have stepchildren, you're assuming the position of that mother figure or that father figure. There's a responsibility that comes along with that, right? We can't just be negligent with children. We have to make sure we're nurturing them, we're growing them, even if they came from our womb or not. So the moment you accept the responsibility, the sooner you'll start acting in a way that responsibility will lead you to the outcome, whatever the outcome is. That makes sense. If that makes sense, make sure you let me know in the comments. Number two, you want to act again when it's necessary. One bold move is not enough. You want to act again. Prime example. Yes, when Esther told King Ahasuerus that the decree was live and real and it was to kill her people, and she exposed herself to being a Jew, that was one act of boldness that it took for her to, speak up and save her people. Another act of boldness as well, at the time when she needed that decree reversed, not knowing if it could happen or not, she still spoke up and said what she had to say. She still spoke up to advocate for her people. We need this decree reversed. Okay, well, it can't be reversed. Well, we need to do a new one. We need to do a new law so that way we can protect ourselves. And that was another act of boldness. But you see how when she did that move, she didn't have to fast first. When she did that second bold move, she didn't hesitate. She wasn't questioning herself. Why? Because she had already done the biggest bold move from the first incident, and now it built up enough confidence for her to just go right in for the second one. And that's what happens when you continuously take bold move after bold move after bold move. It's like getting your reps in. You're going to get better over time, and you're going to show up every single time. And I love that for her. It was almost as a sense of, there was like a level of cockiness to it, right? And I love that for us. So yeah, you don't always want to just get complacent with one bold move. Make another one. You're only as good as your last bold move. I should say that. Or you're only as bold as your last bold move. So if your last bold move was many years ago and there was other opportunities for you to step in and be bold, then you need to start, putting the fire up under your own self. Start looking in the mirror on you, because it's going to take all of his soldiers to get out here, act bold, so that way we can change lives and we can create that impact. Okay. Number 3. Work within systems while changing outcomes. Work within the systems while changing the outcome. What does that mean? So there is a system already in place. You don't want to start changing or moving pieces around the board until you understand how that system works, and then what the outcome is of that system. And if the outcome is aligned with, the vision of the company or the vision of your business or your life, then cool, so be it. But if it's not, then you want to start looking at specific areas of the system before you start to tweak it, right? It will be negligent of you to go and start changing a process without any real results or evidence that it even works. Sort of like when you get a new job in corporate America, you're going in as a manager, but there's already a system and protocol in place. People already know who they report to. Reports go out weekly. Who's supposed to check which report? All of these systems are already in place once you enter the facility. Your job is to go in, quietly assess, learn their process, learn your role before you start to see where we can change to make some improvements, right? That is how you accurately get the necessary data that you need, so that way you can lead correctly. You can lead them in the right direction, and not just going off of your own feelings or your own assumptions or thoughts, or, sending them down a rabbit hole. So yes, you definitely want to work within the system before you try to do any changes. See what outcome already comes about. Number 4, we're on 4. Yes, we're on 4. Secure what you build before celebrating it. I am all for celebrations, and I am all for giving myself my flowers, and we get so excited to do so even early on in the early stages of building. But we get so focused on the excitement and the outcome that we just want to celebrate launching the product or the offer. We want to celebrate just finish the book, the first draft of the book. We want to celebrate the small wins, and that is all fine and dandy. But don't think that celebration is the last step. I got the book out, so now I'm going to celebrate. Whoop-de-doo. I got the job, so now I'm going to celebrate. You can absolutely celebrate, congratulate, and celebrating by taking yourself out to dinner. Celebrating by having a glass of wine, or, buy an item for that small accomplishment, that achievement. However, you want to make sure you're securing all of the goals before you get complacent in that celebration. Because it will have you stuck in a mindset, well, at least I finished it. Well, at least I got the job. Well, at least I did this. That at least statement gets a lot of moms stuck. Y'all be stuck. It got y'all in a chokehold. It does not matter if you only just got the job if you're not effective. Okay? It does not matter if you only just wrote and put out the book if no one is reading it. Okay? If you're not promoting it. If you're not making money from it, right? Do not get complacent with just that, well, at least I did mentality. That ain't going to fly. Not when you got lives to change. Not when you got impact to make. And not when God has you on assignment. It's bare minimum. And we don't give bare minimum energy. Baby. Okay. Number 5, assemble your people. Assemble your people, because authority comes with alignment. Anytime you're walking in your authority and you're asserting yourself, you're going to start to gravitate, or people are going to start to gravitate to you that is in full alignment with what you're doing, how you're walking, how you're moving, right? Because there's a certain aura that's going to come up off of you. You know, there's a certain vibe, there's a certain level of confidence. There's just, you want to start assembling your people, because those are going to be the same people that's going to help you get the word out, that's going to help you promote the business, that's going to help you. Why? Because you're helping them. By being around you, you're helping them, right? You're teaching them. They're learning from you. They're in communication with you. They have access to you, right? So start assembling, kind of like what we do here. Like, this is a community. This is a community, and we all need communities when we're building. We can't do it alone. You're not supposed to do it alone. And I say that each and every week. This was not an assignment for us to carry out by ourselves. Yes, we can initiate it, but eventually God is going to send some people to help you carry out the vision, because the vision gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the only way for you to grow, the only way for you to reach people is for you to assemble them. For you to assemble them, okay? Number 6, stand firm when you are challenged. Stand firm. You gotta kind of have the I said what I said mentality. And you don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be ignorant about it. But stand firm when you're a challenge. When you're challenged, right? When you're walking in authority, you cannot be passive all the time, especially being a mom, especially being a woman. People will try you. They're going to want to tussle, right? They're going to get you to try to change your mind. Now, by all means, I always like to think outside the box when someone does challenge me, because I don't look at a challenge as a negative thing. However, if I know what I know, and if I'm true to what I know, I'm standing firm on that. I'm standing firm on my beliefs. I'm standing firm on my morals. You can't make me go outside or beyond my morals, all because you want to try to change my perspective. You want to try to twist things around to make it seem one way and it's not, right? And this is where discernment comes in at. But you have to be able to stand firm when you're challenged. When someone wants to come from your jugular, when they want to come for your neck, stand firm. Make sense? Make sense? Drop in the chat if this makes sense for you. What number are we on? Number 7. Number 7. I like to call this winning with discipline. What does that mean? It means always remain humble. You can win, but have some discipline behind that win. We don't have to boast, gloat, that I told you so, that cockiness. Like, it's okay to pop your ish sometimes, and it's okay to share. I love when people share their wins, right? But don't let that win change you. Humbleness is a real thing. Humbleness is a real thing. Don't let that win make you into something that you're not. Don't be a Haman. Do not be a Haman, because God can take it all away at the snap of a finger, at the blink of an eye, right? Because ultimately, what we do is not for us. We get to reap the benefit of the overflow. We get to reap the benefit of our monetary gains, right? Because it's a business. But ultimately, it's not for us. We serve. We do things for our community, for the people that's attached to us. That's how we do things, right? We do it for them. So, but just make sure you are winning with discipline. Don't go all over the place and being cocky, arrogant, because then ain't nobody gonna like you. Ain't nobody gonna like you. And it's cool to say, well, I don't care if nobody like me, but have them not like you for hating you for doing what's good. But don't have them not like you for you being an a-hole. That's just not cool, and it's not representing your God in that way. Okay. Number 8, we are going to create structure around our breakthroughs. Hence, turning your pain into purpose and then position it for profit. This is how we structure around our breakthroughs. What is the biggest breakthrough that you had in your life, right? Own that. Own that and wear it like a badge of honor. The biggest breakthrough. Think back to the point when life almost broke you. Think back to the point where you felt like there was no way out of your situation. And now look where you are. If you're out of this situation, own it. Own it. You are an authority figure in that specific lane. And what you do is you position and form that into a way where it helps other people that are facing the similar issues. That is how you build and create structure around your breakthrough, your testimony. That is the key. That is the key to reaching the people that you need to reach. Talk about it, share it, give the advice, tell them your strategies, tell them what you did to overcome, to have that breakthrough, right? Teach it, fine tune it, learn about it, research it, but become the authority in that one lane. Be the expert. I am the expert in turning your pain into profit. I am the expert of helping moms go from pain to purpose, to position, and to profit. That's why that's my framework, right? That's why I wrote a book about it. Purpose Got Me Paid, okay? I am the expert. I've helped so many moms do this. Whether it's writing a book, whether it's starting a new business, whether it's connecting to their existing business to make that grow and scale by sharing more of your testimony, right? We see the increase when we are able to resonate and connect. Think about it. Think about it. Create the structure around your breakthrough. Number 9, you want to lead after a crisis. You want to lead. You don't want to jump all over the place, but you want to actually lead, whether that is your team, your family. And what does that mean? What does that look like when I say lead? Well, if there was a big family argument, or if you and your husband was just fighting and arguing, if there was something detrimental that happened, take that first initiative to get to the bottom of why or how we got there. That's leadership, right? Understand what triggered it, understand where it went left, and then put things in place so that way we don't have to revisit this again. Same thing with your business. If you took a major hit, if you took a major L in business, right? Get to the bottom of how did it happen, why it happened, and how we could prevent it from happening again. This is how you lead after a crisis, because a crisis is only a life lesson. A crisis is only there to stretch you and to teach you, right? And even though in the time we may feel like it's bad, we may feel like we're going through the worst storm ever, but you survived. You survived 100% of your worst times. You survived every single obstacle that was thrown at you. If you are still here, you survived. You survived. Congratulations. But yes, leading after that crisis, leading makes a world of a difference, right? And it makes you become aware. It makes you become more structured, and it makes you proud of yourself that you're able to put things in place and plan for the rainy day. Because the rainy day is not always about finances. The rainy day could be your mental, your spiritual. What do you do when you're having a spiritual crisis? Right? What is the bounce back? What does that process and system look like? You need to have that in place for every area of your life and be prepared to lead right after the crisis. Okay? And last but not least, number 10, build beyond yourself. Who are we building for? Who do we do this for? Who? For me, it is the legacy of my family. It is the legacy that I'm leaving behind, and the ones that my children are actively learning and working in with, because I don't want it to stop here. Why can't our little brown children be on the Forbes list for many, many years? Why can't we create that generational wealth? Why do we always have to start over? Because we don't plan anything beyond either our current generation or the next. Most of us don't. Most of us don't. Walking in authority means securing the bag for many, many years to come, or at least putting a system into place so that way you can secure the bag for many, many years to come. Now, for some people that may seem so far-fetched or so out of arm's reach, but I promise you, you'll feel a lot more secure and closer once you start learning of these things. Once you start implementing, or not implementing, once you start opening up your mutual funds account, once you start opening up your trust funds and actually putting a will in place, right? If you're buying a home, figure out what's the best way to preserve that home. Is it through a trust, right? Is it through an estate? Like find out. Like, you'll start to learn ways you can secure the bag for many, many years to come. It does not take rocket science, and it does not mean you can't start where you are. Learning these things are game changers. Understanding retirement accounts, understanding life insurance policies, understanding the beneficiaries, understanding equity in your home, right? And more importantly, understanding how to steward the money so you can double and triple and quadruple, right? We want to do that so that way we're continuing to build, right? But we can't do it just off of one sole income. If not with the type of longevity I'm talking about. It's going to take for me to do something I've never done before. Yes, you can work your job, but it's going to take something beyond that. It's going to take some real estate investment if that's you. It's going to take you to write a couple books if that's you. It's going to take you to get on stage and use your voice if that's you. It's going to take you to go speak over somebody's life if that's you. It's going to take you to open up that business. It's going to take you to go back to school. Whatever it's going to take for you to learn what you need to learn so you can start generating the other income for that cushion, for that legacy. Okay, building it beyond yourself. That is walking in authority. Those are my 10. That's what I have for you today. And I really hope that you're able to process this, whether you're watching it now or you're going to watch it later in a replay. I hope that you're able to process what you needed to take from this, because I always ask God to use me and to lead me in the direction I'm supposed to go. And I feel like this year is going to be the year for a lot of people, because they're not just sitting around waiting. They're not just going to watch another year go by. They're not just going to watch everyone else hitting goals and milestones and they're just sitting there. So this right here, this community, this live, this whole challenge, all of this is the community. This is the community, okay? So for you to be tapped in, for you to watch this, for you to be here, it says a lot, and it says that you want this. And if you want more, we've got more. You can absolutely join us inside of the Mastery Mompreneurship community. And that is where we're going to be meeting for our private Mastery meetup on Tuesday. And this is where we get to the meat and potatoes, right? This is where we get deep dive into walking in authority and how you can actively apply that to where you are. So you can go click the link in the description to get your free 3-day trial. If you decide to stay, it's only $20 a month after that, or $169 for the year. And then you're locked in. You have the community that you need. So I want to know what you thought about the book of Esther. Was this your first time reading it? If it's not your first time reading it, rereading it, was it the same experience that you had the last time? Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments. And what else is coming up? What else is coming up before we go? We have the Purpose Plan Ascension. It's starting in March. So if you are a mom ready to start understanding how you make money with purpose, you might want to go ahead and sign up. That link will be in the comments as well. Or you could visit my website, TammyCapri.com. 2 things. You have to be a mom and you have to come ready. You have to be a mom and you have to come ready. But yes, that's all I got for y'all today. And I hope you are having an amazing Lent 2026. I hope you're able to stay committed to the things that you committed yourself to. And just continue to be great. Just continue to be great, y'all. This is the last live of the month. And it's kind of bittersweet, but I'm going to be going live even more. But this challenge has been truly amazing and truly did stretch myself, and I just can't be any more grateful. Like, I'm just so grateful for all of the feedback that I get on my Instagram. Just so grateful for all the women in the community, and just know that God is using me to do things for this platform and for this community. So you need the help, we're bringing the help. You can also click the link in my bio if you want to purchase a copy of Purpose Got Me Paid, how every woman can build their purpose-driven empire. No matter where you are at in life, no matter what you're doing in life, it is never too late. All you have to do is have that mindset to be ready, to stay focused, and to work, okay? And to work, because at the end of the day, we are all assigned to somebody. But that is it. I hope you have an amazing rest of your Sunday. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And that is it. That is all. Crowns on, chin up, and you rock the rest of your week. Have a good one.